Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 4 of Dauphiné 2023. Today's stage, 21-kilometer individual time trial. So we know it's going to be a big deciding factor on the general classification after today's race finishes. We all know it's the big mountain stages coming on stage 7 and 8 here at Dauphiné that are going to really decide who wins Dauphiné. But today's individual time trial on stage 4 is clearly going to be the first showdown amongst the GC contenders to see who can ride with Jonas Vingegaard when we get later into these mountains. Well, when the time trial starts, we see it's Jonathan Castroviejo from Ineos that's in the hot seat. He's going to be in the hot seat for just a little bit because out on the course, about 43 seconds up on the time is Remy Cavagna, who's flying on the TT. Remy Cavagna's going good here on stage 4 of Dauphiné, but up in front, before Remy Cavagna passes, we're going to see it's Nelson Oliveira from Movistar that comes through and gets the hot seat 2 seconds faster than Jonathan Castroviejo. Well, like I said, Remy Cavagna, the Frenchman, was going fast, and he's coming up to the line. When he throws his bike at the line, he's going to be up 37 seconds faster than Nelson Oliveira from Movistar, and that'll put Remy Cavagna in the hot seat here on stage 4 of Dauphiné. Now, behind, who's leaving the ramp? Well, we got some big names leaving with Enric Mas from Movistar. He's having a miserable time. He's going to lose about 3 minutes when everything's said and done. But Danny Martinez from Ineos, he's having a solid ride. He'll cross the line in the top 10, but when the day is all said and finished, he's going to be 11th on the stage. 1 minute and 7 seconds, 8 seconds back on the general classification. But we know Danny Martinez had a solid ride here at the end of the stage 4 here of Dauphiné, so keep an eye on him later when we get into the last 2 big mountain stages. Behind him, Davide Gaudu, the FDJ French rider's coming into the finish. He's having a bad individual time trial stage, and this is going to bring down his hopes for winning the general classification because, look, it's Jai Hindley, Bora Hansgrohe, that is having a good time out here on stage 4 as he's flying past not just Davide Gaudu from FDJ, but he's taking his teammate Kevin Giniot's down too as he pushes hard all the way to the line. That keeps Jai Hindley up there in the battle for the general classification. Now, let's go to the big GC guys back here and the time trial specialist because Remy Cavagna, who is the time trial specialist, is in the hot seat, but we got another time trial specialist behind us leaving the ramp. His name is Mikkel Bjerg. Mikkel Bjerg rides for UAE team members. You see him take a big gulp of air before he leaves the ramp, throws in everything on the pedals as he leaves the ramp, and he's flying down, starting stage 4 here in fine form. Now we go back to see the other big hitters that are leaving after Mikkel Bjerg. We see Adam Yates there. We see, of course, Jonas Vingegaard, the big-time favorite here to win the general classification. Egan Bernal leave the ramp for Team Ineos. And then we're going to see the last rider leaving the ramp. And, of course, that's going to be the race leader's yellow jersey there of Christophe Laporte. We get into the time proper, and we start seeing the first time checks there from Jonas Vingegaard. He's up 3 seconds on Remy Cavagna. Only problem for Jonas Vingegaard, though, right after he has the lead, camera goes back up and finds Mikkel Bjerg, and Mikkel Bjerg is up 5 seconds on Remy Cavagna's time. 1 kilometer later, we see Mikkel Bjerg catching the Trek Segafredo rider, Marcus Højgaard there. That was his 3-minute man, so we know Mikkel Bjerg is going fast. As Mikkel Bjerg's coming up to the finish, right there with about 600 meters to go, he sees the Uno X car directly in front of him because that's Torsten. That's just in front of the Uno X car. With 400 meters, the car's getting a little bit closer, 350. He moves over right, gets a little bit of draft off of the car. Then 250, he's back left. He's in the draft there of Torsten going all the way to the line. He'll throw his bike at the line for 27 seconds faster than Remy Cavagna's time. Now, we look back behind him. We got some big guys, right? Julian Alaphilippe left the ramp after him. Christophe Laporte, I already mentioned, and Jonas Vingegaard's on course. Julian Alaphilippe, he's got his director sportif back there, Patrick Lefebvre, in the car watching the race as he's smiling at the cameras. Camera veers back there to Julian Alaphilippe, already a stage winner here at Dauphiné as he's flying up the road. Now when he comes into the finish, he's going to catch EF Education's Richard Carapaz. He's having a terrible stage 4 here at Dauphiné on the individual time trial. Julian Alaphilippe will pass him, go all the way to the line, and finish today's stage 1 minute 12 seconds back from the time there of Bjerg. Well, we still got the race leader out there, and we still got Jonas Vingegaard. Jonas Vingegaard was doing some solid times, but as he comes into the finish with about 170 meters to go, you look there, the time gap is dropping. He's only got about 10 seconds to play with. 100 meters to go, it's 0. We know he's not going to win today's individual time trial. He'll lose 5 seconds more. He'll lose another 10 seconds, and he'll cross the line 12 seconds behind Bjerg's time to put himself second on today's individual time trial, with Remy Cavagna sitting third at 27 seconds. We got still Christophe Laporte out there on the road, but Christophe Laporte, he's dropping time left and right, and when he crosses the finish of today's individual time trial, he's going to be almost 2 minutes back of the time of Bjerg, so he's going to pass the race leader's yellow jersey to the UAE Team Emirates rider, who wins his first individual time trial and his first Pro World Tour victory here for Bjerg. Congratulations. You could see he was really emotional at the end of today's stage after he realized he was going to win the individual time trial, his first big victory at the World Tour. Now, UAE Team Emirates, they're in the hot seat, right? We see the interview from Jonas Vingegaard after crossing the line. He looked devastated when he crossed the line, so you know he left everything out there on the time trial. And then when he's doing the interview, he says, sure, he would have loved to have won the stage, but he gave everything out there, maybe went a little too hard early and started to fade there at the end. Tried to save something in the middle, but just couldn't get the legs to recover for that uphill step up of about 4 kilometers all the way to the finish of today's stage 4. This means Jonas Vingegaard and Jumbo-Visma, like I said, passed the jersey over to UAE Team Emirates, but Jonas Vingegaard is still the big-time GC favorite sitting in the hot seat second. Now, Jonas Vingegaard talks about how UAE Team Emirates will have to do most of the protecting and defending and riding on the front. But if I'm UAE Team Emirates, who had Grossschartner finish in the top 10 today, and had Adam Yates had a fantastic ride to keep him in the top 10 on today's stage, they have 3 riders. Adam Yates, of course, is the GC favorite amongst those 3 guys from UAE Team Emirates of Bjerg, Grossschartner, and Adam Yates. So that should be their GC guy, and he's sitting solid, but he's still got about 40 plus seconds back there on Jonas Vingegaard. So when I'm looking at the strategy, talking about tomorrow's stage 5, it's a tricky one because it's looking flat. But UAE Team Emirates, yes, they're wearing the race leader's yellow jersey, but Jonas Vingegaard, in my mind, is the threat here on general classification and the big-time favorite sitting second. So when Jonas Vingegaard's talking about, well, UAE Team Emirates have the jersey so we can sit back, that's not necessarily true as long as the UAE Team Emirates directors understand tactically that, hey, as long as we keep an eye on Jumbo-Visma in the early breaks trying to get away in tomorrow's stage 5, if we got guys with them, then we're not going to have to do any work either. And if they miss the move and they miss the break, Jumbo misses the break, UAE Team Emirates miss the break, that means that UAE Team Emirates could just put one guy on the front, let the break get out there, gain a bunch of time there, be willing to give up the race leader's jersey if you want to put Jumbo-Visma's Jonas Vingegaard's team under threat. They'll have to get to the front and do some work with UAE Team Emirates tomorrow if they want to win the Dauphiné. You can't win the Dauphiné with Bjerg. And Grossschartner, not necessarily a pure climber, most likely is not a GC threat to Jonas Vingegaard, so you're talking Adam Yates, who is 40 plus seconds behind the time of Jonas Vingegaard. So if I'm the directors of UAE Team Emirates, I'm looking right away to Jonas Vingegaard's Jumbo-Visma squad and saying, you guys got to do the bulk of the work because Jonas is sitting second on the general classification. Yes, we have 3, but 2 of them aren't necessarily pure climbers, and Adam Yates is our real general classification threat. Now, other guys that are threat up in the top 10 that are general classification guys, you got to look at Ben O'Connor because Ben O'Connor finished 41 seconds down on today's stage to put himself 5th on the stage. So he's looking solid for the general classification too for UAE for AG2R. This will allow him a little bit of nudge room when we get into the mountains. If UAE Team Emirates and Jumbo-Visma are looking at each other too closely, maybe a rider like Ben O'Connor or we're talking Danny Martinez might be able to find some ways to slip away because they're about a minute back of the time on Jonas Vingegaard once we get into the mountains. Going to be an interesting next few mountain stages here at Dauphiné, and certainly the GC battle just started after today's individual time trial, and the mountains are coming soon. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next edition real soon.